We're back with Keira Grant. Uh, a defining moment changes us from the person that we were to the person that we became afterwards. What was yours and how did it change you? And you can define this however you want.
In terms of modeling, since I've already covered that at first I was not comfortable with things and I was learning it, it's kind of the fake it till you make it sort of thing. So that's not necessarily one defining moment, but it's a process. So you may not be feeling like you're great at something, but you say, hey, I'm going to do this. And even if it scares you, you're going to do it. I did it. And then you get good at it. And then like now I'm like, oh, I'm Keira Grant and I'm awesome and I'm good at my job and I love my job and like awesome. Now, obviously not moment, but probably the decision to do this would be a moment.
Did the decision to go into freelancing or just
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. Given the choice, sorry, given the choices between Beatles or Elvis, who would you listen to? Just those two.
Beatles.
Uh, Sorry, the photographer's not really as prepared as he probably should be.
No, you're great.
It's been a crazy day, and we can maybe talk about that later if we so choose. Uh, what is the difference between a good client and a bad client in your terms?
A good client is respectful. That was your word that you chose. They have ideas. They have good light. They're open to collaborating with ideas. As this is my job, it's someone who will hear what my rates are and compensate me fairly rather than whine about all sorts of things. Make sure it's warm. I do appreciate having snacks, although that is totally not necessary. Somehow there's this whole mentality of like, don't feed the model, and I think that's really silly. But basically someone who wants to make good art, and that can be someone at any level. So they might be brand new, in which case they'd be okay collaborating and learning from who they're working with, or someone who is super experienced and they see their model as like a part of the team.
Uh, Please describe your aesthetic, and again, define this however you want.
So I'm this weird mix of super fine art figure posing and totally wonky, weird, wild. So I might be like looking into the distance, doing some and the next thing you know, I'm wearing a box and I'm wearing a box on my head and I'm all like, yeah, I'm a box, yeah. And obviously in between there's all sorts of, stuff. But those are like kind of my two things that I gravitate towards.
How did you get your How did you get your modeling start?
So my first photo shoots were when I was in California and I was at a nude beach and I had this friend, like I'd been going there a little bit and he was like, dude, I'm gonna take your picture. And I was like, alright, whatever. And the pictures are awful. Sorry, Dave. Pictures are awful. But it got me into it. And then, that was the first time. And then later he took pictures and they were okay. And it was kind of interesting. So I did a couple of those and was like, hey, let's do some more.
You went back to him, he said, or
It
in
was
terms
that
of that.
I knew a friend, and it was like over the years he'd taken my picture a few times, and then I was in grad school and I thought about exploring part-time work. Answered a Craigslist ad. So
How did that? How did the answer in the Craigslist ad go for you?
Some of them were not very good in the very beginning. There's some horrible human beings out there. And one guy, it was great because together we learned, like, we got better at it. So I had no idea what to do. My first pictures with him were really funny. I'm like on a fence, in a skirt, with a bra, cowboy hat. I'm climbing a tree in high heels. Like, it makes no sense. And his work, was like, but over the years or over the months, I guess, because we shot together for years too, he got really awesome. I guess I already said I got awesome, which sounds
So we actually
awful.
learned something.
Oh, he got really good. Yeah,
It's good to hear.
it was cool.
What are some of the most common challenges you've experienced as a creative in general?
As a creative in general,
Mm-hmm.
I think the most common is actually having faith that you are on the right path. That sometimes the world around you doesn't like it doesn't like your creativity, or it's hard to make a living. You just have like, people that are just like, whoa, I can't believe you're doing this thing and you're nude, or why are you spending all these hours painting? Like you could be doing something else. That's not a real job. Um, but just going, hey, this is what I do and this is what I love to do. Sorry, I'm kind of cold, and I'm also wondering if I'm slipping out of my Mario Brothers outfit. So,
Try to keep it PG, girl.
well, that's why I was just like, I think I'm good.
I think you're fine though.
I think I'm fine. So, yeah, it's just like making sure I'm just like, hey, I'm doing the right thing, and even if the world does not like it and does not always respect it, I respect what I'm doing, and therefore it's good because we are all our own people. We do what we want to do. As
Fair
long as
enough.
it's not hurting other people.
I can get into that. The respecting other people, not the hurting people.
Oh yeah, no.
Anyway, from looking at your portfolio, you have some pretty fantastic abs. Would you have any objection if you talked about the general rundown of your core routine?
Well, first of all, I'd show you, but I'm stuck in this. But
Again, poor planning on the photographer. But go ahead.
I could go like whisk off and be like, look, you probably also could interject photos and just have them like pop up on the scene as a picture in a picture. I know you're going to edit this out, me talking that, but that would be cute.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
So I think diet is a lot of it. For my abs, I do some ab things. Like I like the plank, and I like this one thing where you like you're like on a bench, and then you like, I think it's called flag poles, and your legs like
Okay.
poke up. Otherwise, I like doing a plank with a weight on my back.
Okay.
When I was at like the top of my game with abs, I went through a period of time where I traveled less, so I went to the gym more, and I was putting like 50 pounds on my back and then doing a plank.
That's no joke, people.
Um,
That's no joke.
Now I do 25 pounds, so yeah.
Any nuggets of wisdom you'd like to share that we have not already discussed with someone working with you for the first time?
Someone working with me for the first time. Well, first of all, some people see my portfolio and they think I'm going to be mean. And if you're listening to this interview, I don't think I sound mean. I don't think I sound overly serious. So, yeah, it's funny because some people are like, I'm intimidated. And I'm like, models are just people. And really, I just want to work with everyone. Like, I want to see what I can make with someone because it's really cool. Like, it's a cool process and journey. So,
Kind of like basically that they shouldn't assume things and just go ahead and ask and hope for the best. Think that'd be fair?
I mean, people should never assume. I mean, we know what they say about assuming. So, and we all got one ass. We don't need to be like making asses and be all just that. But yeah.
All right. Loosely tell us about your dream project and pretend personnel and budget are not an issue. And again, this can be for any medium that you want.
Please edit out me saying or just put it in on a reel going Right now, my goals are painting wise. So like modeling, I want to keep modeling, and there's like some locations I'd really love to shoot in. But like in terms of like dream project, it would be really cool to have a really big studio and working on some big projects and do like a gallery show. I also like the idea of there being like an installation piece. So I haven't pieced it all together because I'm normally a little bit more of a realist. Um, but the more I think about it, like it would be very cool to have like models and photography and the paintings of the trees and people like pose as trees and paint. I don't know.
Have you thought about mixed media? As
I've
in, like,
done a
I know
little
you've
bit.
done like paintings. Have you thought about combining your like the oil painting with printing out of stuff from, some of your photos that you have access that you're allowed to print out and then mix it into like a oil canvas or something
I
like
mean, I
that?
paint from some of my self portraits, but there's unfortunately not enough hours in a day, in a month, and a year to be doing mixed media, and I have enough projects to do. But I do like collecting like stuff to create stuff. So I have this dream of having a space where I can hoard all these artistic things, and then I can have an inspiration and be like, wow, so let's put some Spanish moss on this creepy doll and mix it with this trash bag and then some paint and this and epoxy and make cool shit.
All right, we're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back.